So this morning, we're going to have Tim Turner with us from Director of Sales at EBSCO Information Services. I'm Joy Woodson. I'm the Marketing Communications Assistant Director at Galileo. And thank you all so much for joining this call. And thank you, Tim, for bringing this webinar to our audience today.
Sure. I appreciate you having me. So I'm Tim Turner. Greetings from Kennesaw. We're having beautiful weather here in Georgia, so I hope that you are all in your offices with the windows open because it's really nice out. It'll be heating up, but we'll get to some meat of the matter and hopefully give you some new information and some refresher information on the EBSCO resources that Galileo has. I'm going to sort of go over one of the biggest resources that I think are at hand for you for school media specialists and for public librarians. Then I'm going to give you sort of a refresher on a couple of others and then show you some new things that are coming out, being released, and some new look and feel to the tools that we have at your disposal. So the first thing I'm going to do is just share my screen. So right now you should all see the Learning Express library interface. Do you all see that? I know you can't all see it, but if somebody could say yes, it'd be great.
Yes, we see
okay,
it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So this is the first thing that I wanted to sort of go over. Learning Express library and its companion tools, Job and Career Accelerator and Computer Skills Center. Those are all here in one place. So I want to kind of remind people what is out there now, especially with people doing home schooling and things like that. I know that schools are starting to roll up anyway, would have been closing this week, next week. But I know that some are going to be doing some summer school stuff. So I wanted to sort of point out Learning Express Library. It is a great place to go for school students to study for aptitude tests. Although it's interesting that the colleges just suddenly decided that SAT scores didn't matter now that we can't take them. But I want you to all know that they're here and for people who are going to be looking for jobs. So Learning Express was a company that EBSCO purchased a few years back and has done a lot with trying to update it. And you'll see that it comes when you come to the landing page. You can get this through the Galileo listings. You'll see there's a piece for career preparation and Job and Career Accelerator, the High School Equivalency Center to work on GEDs, SAT, ACT tests and college admissions, the school center that does resources for homework. So I'll even open one of these up so I can actually go to the school center. If I hit the high school, you'll see that there are practice tests and tutorials for improving math, English language, social studies, things of that nature. When we talk about adult core skills, things like building your math, becoming a better reader, and improving your writing, speaking, and grammar, and there's a U.S. citizenship test that's in there. Computer skills, now's a good time. We're all stuck at home. To get started with your computer, get started with the internet, learn popular software tutorials. So things like Microsoft Office 365. People are going to be looking for a job if they're out of a job and think they're going to be looking when this hopefully clears up. Then you'd want to come and brush up on your skills to make sure that you can be proficient in some of these things if you're going to work in an office or things like that. So there's also a piece on computer and graphic instructions. There are resources for Spanish speakers. There's also personal success skills. So things like workplace success, media literacy, personal finance skills, organization skills and time management skills, how to use your time wisely. So when you go into some of these, you'll see tutorials and ebooks. All of the ebooks that are in Learning Express are DRM free. For those of you who aren't aware of what DRM means, is digital rights management is the amount of pages you can download, the amount of pages you can view, the amount of time you can keep a book on your reader. DRM free means that all of these books can be downloaded in full and kept on your player as long as you want to, whatever device you're using. I'll go back home here. Go back up to the college admissions and test prep. So you've got prepare for your AP exams, PSATs, SATs, ACTs, college admissions essay writing skills. So these are all at your fingertips. When we talk about career preparation, talking about job and workplace skills, preparing for things like air traffic controllers, electricians and plumbing exams, those kinds of things, nursing exams if you want to be one of the heroes and that are out there these days and work with the nursing in the nursing profession. So it tells you about some of the things that you will have to do when you, hang on, it popped open, but it's down here. So, so here's preparing for your nursing school entrance tests, nurse aides certification, the NCLEX exams that are out there. So these are just some of the things. You can jump right to a center here too, but like I said, it's very easy right here. Job and Career Accelerator allows you to actually find career matches. So you can search for, I'll open it up here. You can get resources like your occupations based on your interests. So it brings you through a quiz and you basically lay out your interests and it finds you things that are suited for you. If you, same thing on the skills side, so you can work with those as well. Go back here, searching for jobs and internships. There's also a school and scholarship finder. So you can actually, if you're going to be applying to college and you need scholarships, there is a piece in here that does a school finder, matches the things that you're looking for, majors, talks about costs, things like that, and your scholarship finder. So when people are coming back and looking, or if students are trying to get to college, or students are prepping for their tests, as of now, you know, a lot of the colleges have said, don't worry about the SAT, but that won't be the case forever, I don't believe. So the cool part is that you have this My Center piece. I don't have a lot of stuff in here. I go back to the same stuff over and over, and it basically stores all of the information that you've done. So if you've downloaded certain ebooks, I'll show you what this Becoming a Paralegal looks like when you download it. So this is just there's a table of contents and just, you know, looks like a regular ebook. So you'll be able, they're all in PDF, so they're easily downloaded, kept on your player if you want to, so you can save this to your drive. I don't have any tutorials, but you can start with tutorials, so it takes you through things. If I have computer courses, maybe I was taking Microsoft Word 2010 Basic at one point. You can save any articles, flashcards, career dashboards as I'm putting together my resumes and my cover letters, and any jobs that I've searched for. I can keep them in my career dashboard. For the school finder, I can look through all of the schools and do that, and they can do a comparison of schools. And then the scholarship finder is the same way. So you can save all of that data. When you look at some of the computer courses, I'll open this one up here. A lot of these are all video tutorials in the computer skills area. And you'll also see the transcript. So each piece of the video you will see, and then you'd advance to the next screen and you'd see the transcript for that piece of the video as well.
I have a quick question, Tim.
Sure.
A lot of our audience are, you know, they're librarians, and so they are very versed in, you know, what Learning Express is and things that it does. I know that a lot of the patrons find it very useful. Are there any particular things that are new, you know, maybe over the last year that you could point out?
We're constantly putting new content into the database, but we haven't. But as far as, you know, new tests, we've updated our tests. We just did the recent versions of all of the SAT, ACTs, because those were recently updated. So we're keeping it current, and we're trying to add new things all the time as far as new ebooks and study guides. But other than that, I just kind of wanted to make sure everybody was aware of the sort of the functionality. When we talk about things like the tests, and I can finish up here if we think that everybody's aware of what's going on. Just remember that when you're doing your tests, there are 3 different steps. You have automatic scoring at the end of it, but your learner is to help you. You can see the answer to each question as you go to help you learn. Practice mode has a timer, but it doesn't time you out. It just shows you the timer and how long it took you to get through it. And a complete simulation, if it's a time test, will give you the exact time and will shut down if you haven't finished. So that's full simulation. So we have been updating the content. Hopefully you know how to use these things. If you have any questions, you can let me know. And I'll move to a couple of other things unless somebody has anything in the text box that I should be able to.
No, I don't see any questions right now. If you all have any specific questions regarding Learning Express, you can go ahead and put them in the chat right now. If not,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so let me go back, and I don't know why I stopped sharing, but I'll share again. I'm going to go over to the Galileo site. As a reminder, right now, if you're still doing online coursework and you need to know where things are, I just wanted to point out a few of the things on the Galileo site here. Obviously, at the bottom, you can click to resources for who you are, a general library, a high school, a middle school, those kinds of things. But a lot of people sometimes confuse the differences between certain resources, because we, as vendors, sometimes name things, like we name our general use public library product master file. It sounds like a giant filing cabinet in a basement somewhere. Average patrons may not know what they are. So I just wanted to draw your attention to the E's first, ebooks. So ebooks for schools, ebooks for public libraries, and then to the Exploras. So a lot of people know, who have been users for a long time, know that our general use high school product is called MAS Ultra, and our general use public library product through Galileo is Masterfile Elite. Those are the resources that are behind the Explora platforms. So with Explora, we just kind of devised a nice little graphical interface for things. So when I go in and look at the high school version, it's kind of nice and browsable, so that you can go in and say, oh, I have to do a paper on someone, so I can do one on Chief Crowfoot or someone like that, or I have to do something on health. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to browse. These are what we call our topic overviews. Topic overviews are when you search, things will pop up at the top, and this is kind of a Wikipedia-like entry. This is only found in the Explora and EDS, the Discovery Service platforms, and I'll show you the difference. So you can do coronavirus, or you could do COVID-19. You'll see the automatic pop-ups. And so when someone types that in, they're going to get a topic overview on coronavirus or coronavirus infections. And it's for students. They go to Wikipedia a lot, even though they're told they shouldn't, because they want a starting point. Or they're told not to, but they'll do it anyway. So we wanted to give sort of an overview, and then you can get into all of the source types. And with our high school, primary school interfaces, middle school interfaces for Explora, the Lexile range can be is one of the limiters. So wanted to show you that. If we go into the PDFs themselves, you're going to see links to Google Classroom and Google Drive. And one of the future enhancements we're working on that we should have by the end of the year is to be fully Microsoft compliant as well. So you'll be able to see those. So just wanted to let you know, Explora is great for the general overview kind of stuff. A lot of people don't know that. They'll try to find master file, or they find MAS, or the kids don't know what MAS Ultra is. So Explora for high schools, Explora for middle schools has our basic general reference stuff behind it, and some nice functionality with the topic overviews. The other thing is when you go to your area, so if you clicked on high school, middle school, you'll come to this similar looking page. This up top is our EBSCO Discovery Service. It actually brings in more stuff. So it just doesn't do Mass Ultra or master file, but it also brings in newspaper source and the History Reference Center and all of those things. So it searches across a lot of things. So you'll see when we do the COVID-19 search here, this is a great way to say, I'm going to Galileo and I'm going to use this, and it's going to pop up. Over here, we call our topic overviews research starters, but the same kind of thing, and articles should pop up. You'll also see the video results. This is a new enhancement to where we are with our databases. We now have nice, bright, images for our videos. It used to look a little bit less enticing. Oh, it's not supposed to do that. But I've been into so many things. All right. Yeah, it's not going to let me in. So for this, though, for these videos, you'll actually get a full transcript of the video, and you will get full pieces. When you click view all results, it all appears in the same page, but it didn't quite work out for me there. So a good way to say, I just want a quick answer, I don't know which resource to go to. The search box that says Discover for Galileo is the discovery service that searches across multiple resources to find you answers. I didn't test this, but I think we have this turned on. If we didn't, we'll get it turned on. But there's a piece here that if I want to type a title, and it is turned on, so which is great. This search within publication box will come up. So if I want to look at anything within consumer reports, I type consumer reports, and then I type refrigerators, and I will only be searching for those kinds of things that are in consumer reports. So you'll see this from August 2018 last year was their refrigerator issue, and those kinds of things. So you get consumer reports buying guides, all of those things. So any questions around that as far as the basics for getting quick answers for your students and your patrons in your public libraries? Anything in the chat or?
Nope, not seeing any questions.
Okay, so either I'm boring people or I'm just really good and informing everybody, or they already knew everything here. So now we'll get on to
really good, or our librarians are just really good. So.
That's right. Yeah. Let me stop sharing that piece, and I'm going to go share my PowerPoint. So I want to. Okay, so there's some new things that are coming. I'm going to just turn on my slideshow here. This slideshow was 61 slides long. I've really condensed it because I didn't think you wanted to fall asleep that bad. This is just to tell you some new things that are up and coming. As I told you before, the videos are going to be working fine. There's been a lot of people that want our content integrated at the school level in their LMS, the Learning Management System. We will be LTI compliant for anything like a ClassLink, a Clever, any schools that are using those kinds of things, and we're really excited about it. I've been waiting for this for a couple of years now, so just want to let you know that's on the horizon, and it is still, even with all of this disruption, on track to be completed by the end of June. So we will have it available for the coming school year. This is just a sample LMS integration. You would be able to look for external tools from your LMS, click discovery, you'd search it just like we just did on the main page. And then if you pulled up articles or ebooks and wanted to add them to anything, you'd just click the add button and it would be pulled into the LMS. So we'll be pretty excited about that. But within the next 2 weeks, we will have the new app release. We are responsive design, so if you use your phone to go and search Galileo in that discovery search box that I just showed you, it will fit and automatically conform to mobile devices. But the new app will allow you to actually do some personalization. It'll actually allow you to share your information. You can start your research on your phone, and then when you log in on your laptop, all of your work will be there, and vice versa. So you will be able to do anything that you need, and it'll save all your searches and things like that. It will work with your smartphone capability. So if your smartphone has facial recognition, it'll work with that. It will do voice to text search. The share people to share articles via text and email to iCloud and iPhone and Google Drive. So all of that will be up and coming. As far as in the next 2 weeks, we'll have that on the app. So that'll be really, really good. This is sort of a little mock-up of it. You'll see that over here, this one says, "Hi, Maria," because it's obviously recognizing someone that comes in. You don't have to personalize, and I'll sort of go over that again later, how that works. Now, this is going to be the new look and feel. So the interface that I just showed you is going to slowly go away. So you'll see that now the screen is a little less cluttery. So you'll have the option to sign in or continue without the personalization. But if you have a dashboard, you'll have that piece. You'll see that it's a lot cleaner. The research starters are still here. So you'll have that piece still so that you can have your overviews. There are peer-reviewed indicators if you're searching for peer-reviewed articles. But you'll notice that there's no more. This is a search result list. It's a lot cleaner than it used to be. There's a lot less of the metadata that's just sort of popping out and overrunning the description. We want a quick, clean description of these articles so people can go through them the way they want to. But the filters are one of the biggest things. We think that they clutter a lot of the left side of our interface currently. So you'll be able to pop those out. Select as many filters as you want. In this case, it's just peer reviewed, so you'll see that it'll tell you if filters are on and how many filters are clicked on. So if you say, "Gee, I got 8 filters turned on," I don't know what that is. You can go in and change it. You'll be able to quickly like items from the result list, which is nice, and then the cite and share buttons will also work directly from the results list. When we do the citation stuff, you'll see every time you do something, you like something, you cite something, you share something, it will indicate that you have done something, and you'd be able to go into your dashboard and see it. And I'll be showing you the dashboard and how that looks. Citation tool, quickly select your style, and then you can either copy it to the clipboard, export it, or email it. If you're exporting it, you will see this piece here, export to EasyBib, RefWorks, EndNote, and you'll notice the last one, we are very close, within a month or so, of getting full Noodle Tools integration. I know there's a lot of schools out there that have been clamoring for Noodle Tools integration. So we will have that before the start of the next school year, which is nice. And then you'll see the email citation to shows you how it emails. The viewing options, it'll tell you you can look for the PDF, you can link it out to the full text in HTML format, so you'll have that. Our reader is a lot less cluttered. All the options are now at the top. So we want to be able for people to scroll through and read the page without having a lot of, the table of contents on the side. You can collapse that in our current reader, but it's just one extra step when you might just want to open this up and start reading. But the options are up here so that you can search within the book, search within the article, and then quickly do your citations, printings, bookmark anything, all of those, and you'll be able to put notes as well on each article. We've done some improvements to our ebook look and feel. Similar kinds of things. So if you're pulling up the ebooks, which are searchable through the Discovery service on Galileo, you can get it in PDF, you can get it in a full text download, or you can get it in EPUB, which is now these days the preferred format. You will see all of the information about the DRM. So if it's unlimited copies, so this one's great. It's DRM free. You're able to. It's unlimited chapter download, unlimited copy and paste. No restrictions. You can do whatever you want with it. So if there's a limit, if it's hey, you can only download 100 pages, it would show you that. Same thing here. You pop this out when you're opening the book. You can flip through in the table of contents, but the toolbar is going to be at the top. So a lot cleaner look and feel. So this is our what we call privacy first personalization. So we do not, you saw on this that we will not be requiring people to create accounts. You can create it for yourself. It's up to you. Doesn't have to. But you don't have to. You can continue on as a guest. If you're storing everything in a Google Drive account, then so be it. You'll be able to log in that way as well. But the ability to do personalization will allow you to work with your dashboard. So this is what a dashboard looks like. So it welcomes you back. Again, if I'm doing it on my laptop or doing it on my phone, when I'm logging in, every time I log in, it knows who I am. So I'm doing things on my phone, in the Uber, if we ever can Uber again, and then you try to you can store some things on the Uber ride, and then you get to your classroom or your dorm room or wherever you're going to happen to be, and then or home, and you might use a laptop. So you'll see that it keeps the most recent projects right on top in your dashboard. Underneath, you'll see the liked items. So I said before, you can click liked items. It'll store recent searches. You'll be able to go across the top with this, so you can look at things you've liked recently. So you're like, I like it, but I'll read it later. So you just click that heart button that I showed you. It will store things, searches, any projects that you have, and any ebook checkouts that you have. So the recent searches. So when you do projects, you'll see all of the projects that you might have. You set in the due date, so it reminds you when things are, so the student can go do that. Here's the project. Here's an overview of what it is, and then all of the things that you have put into that project, and whether they're case studies or articles or ebooks or those kinds of things, in order to put all your projects together. And the great news about this is once you decide you don't want to be part of EBSCO anymore, you leave school, you're not going to use this anymore, you're not going to do any projects anymore, you can opt out. You can actually delete your account. So we don't save user information. We are fully compliant with the general data protection rules, which is a new trend sweeping the world, that make sure that we give people the options, and that we don't keep any information that you are able to throw it out at any given time. So that's really, at this point, those are some of the new things that are coming. The mobile app, you saw the videos, although you'll have to go in and do the videos. For some reason, I must have got a cookie that was locking me out. So any questions, any issues, anything?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can either unmute yourself at this point and ask it, or you can go ahead and put it in the chat. So Jackie says that she also could not do the videos. So maybe,
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a glitch. So and it was working earlier because I tested everything. That's what I do. But something must have happened. There must have been a glitch on it. So I'll put in a report to have them go check it out, because that shouldn't have happened. So
Okay, so that's good to know. Does anyone else have any questions?
I know I went through a lot of information in a short period of time. I would point you to, let me just share one more thing with you. I'm going to share my screen and then pull this up, and then I want to open up. So if you go to EBSCO Connect, it's connect.ebsco.com. So if you need any help, any assistance, any tutorials, any promotional items for any of our products, if you want to do online training courses, if you want to learn how to use Learning Express a little better, any of those kinds of things, connect.ebsco.com. There's product help, there's tutorials, there's videos, there are promotional items to help you reach out to your students and patrons and tell them, hey, we have this through Galileo. So you'll be able to work with those as well. A lot of the promotional materials you can actually self-brand. So just wanted to, I almost forgot, and I'm like, hey, if anybody has any questions but wants to go check it out, connect.ebsco.com is where we go.
And Nancy Bauer, she went ahead and put that URL link in the chat, so everyone can take a look at it. It's right there. We do have another question from Misty. Will students create their own accounts, or will schools make accounts for their own student populations?
Well, they can do either or, but most of it would be student driven, whether they want to or not. I think a lot of the schools, if they're either letting the students do it themselves and saying, if you have a Google Drive account, then use that. But others have institutional accounts like Google Classroom or the institutional version of Microsoft OneDrive. If that's the case, then you can do that with this as well. You could create an institutional account. But for the most part, because you want the personalization, if you're going for personalization, then each student has their own account. That way, when they do something, it can be retrieved from any device.
Okay, and I have a question. Misty says, thank you. I know that when, like I was a student at a local college here, and when I would go in and search for things through Galileo, you can sort of save things in that interface, but then if you wanted to get all of the additional things that you were talking about, that's when you have to create the additional account, which is different from their Open Athens single sign-on. You know, they'd have to create a separate account inside of EBSCO. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and that's not going to be the case with this going forward. So once we get to this point, that will change. So you can actually sign in using, say, your Google Drive account information if you want to. So you pick your style of login. Also, Galileo is, as some know, they're working with Open Athens to get everybody into play. They haven't reached the public libraries and the schools yet because the first phase was to have it. Open Athens, for all of you out there, is it's a single sign-on option. Once you sign on to one thing, you are signed into everything else for the rest of the time that you were there. So you can sign into a EBSCO database and be in a Gale database, and then be in your LMS if you're a school. So the idea is that you would have one login for the day, and it follows you around. So it doesn't matter where you start. So they are working on it now. The next phase is coming up for public libraries. Will be after the academic libraries, the colleges and universities. So you will actually get the first phase will be very easy because it'll be the majority of public libraries through Pines. So once we get a single sign-in from Pines, then it's just a matter of converting Cobb to Cab, Gwinnett, and the ones that were doing their own catalog. So, so yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions from any of the folks on the call? None right now.
Okay.
So I think if there are no other questions, if there's anything else that you wanted to point out, Tim, if not, we'll probably wrap it up here soon.
Okay, that is fine by me. You know, if nobody has any other questions, I hope that it was informative. I hope that you're excited as I am for the new things that are coming out, the mobile app this month, for schools, the LMS integration coming into June, and then all of that. So I wish you all a good day. Stay safe out there, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's going to get hotter and hotter every day, but that's okay by me. I didn't like winter much, so.
It's okay by me too. It's okay
Yeah.
by me too.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks. Take care
Bye.
now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.